Here he is, the hated war criminal. Yeah, I get wanky jokes. Haha, this is going good. Campbell's loving it. We need more Terry Wogan jokes.
Yeah, because Terry Wogan.
You get this, Tom. They're talking about football. You can kind of relate to this.
Oh, definitely.
This is stuff for the everyman.
What is this?
What does mean proper club?
I would say you're really the everyman of the Real Politik podcast.
Oh, it's just clean money, yes, that's what football's always been known for.
I'm just your average guy.
Bruce is an average guy, and you love women. I love women.
We've been listening to a lot of Lou Reed.
We'll talk about Lou later.
Tony Blair for one.
Oh.
Tony Blair's first impression of you was, this guy's going to be okay.
They've hooked me in now with the intersection of Blairism and popular culture. This is the stuff I live and breathe.
I mean, he made no other high-profile mistakes that I can think of.
No.
A lot of young people these days go to politics.
Weak patter from Campbell. No, none.
I'm transgender this and I'm gay that. What happened to traditional values in politics? Like good old-fashioned thirst for power, crushing your enemies, and tacit approval of paedophilia by ruling elites.
Is he talking about Russia or Britain?
You have to deal with that one all on your own.
So, Alistair Campbell?
Was Alistair Campbell in Jeffrey Epstein's little black
That was
book?
my fault, but it was your fault.
What do you think about Kim Jong-un?
You know about that stuff, right?
Go on.
But you're not in the book, are you?
191.
What?
You got Trump at the same
Wait,
table.
I mean, it had to be a big table.
Hang on.
They're not small men.
What's
No,
this?
they're not.
It was a table laden.
So basically, Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, sorry. I was just, my brain was just gonna be yeah, absolutely. The
Yeah, you know
revelations
who he
made-
is.
Yeah, and the thing with like Prince Andrew and
Yeah,
like,
he's got like 29 different phone numbers for Prince Andrew. And also, some people have said, could there be shocking allegations about child abuse by a Prime Minister? Well, I don't know who that Prime Minister could be. It could be the Prime Minister of any country. But in his little black book of contacts, Tony Blair was in there. And also various other Blairites, like I think Peter Mandelson was. And that's why I'm asking if Alistair Campbell was. Yeah, no, he was. I think his name was misspelt, though. But yeah, Alistair Campbell is in Jeffrey Epstein's little black book. Anyway, they're talking about...
Just mentioned,
They're talking about a table laden with cheese. But before that, Putin was grilling Campbell about lies in politics or something, and he was saying we should go back to the old days of state-sponsored paedophilia by ruling elites or something. Hence how we came onto Epstein, if I don't know how audible the show is on the recording.
Who do you think is worse, Kim Jong-un or Matt Baker from The One Show?
Wow, Matt Baker from One Show. This shit is gonna stand the test of time.
So I want to play a little game. I'm going to give you a list of MPs, and you tell me who would win in a
The animation is just
no-holds-barred,
awful.
oiled-up judo wrestling match in a section I'm calling Vladimir Putin is the best at judo and chat shows.
Okay.
I'm just
Hilarious.
stunned into silence for how bad this is, really.
They've got a painting of a bear on the wall.
Ow, why?
She's tougher.
Oh, I don't know how tough she is. Owen Smith could have knocked her back on her heels, am I right?
Go for the eyes.
You go for the Jeremy Hunt and Diane Abbott.
Ooh.
Or make a joke about maths.
Isn't it though?
I'd give Diana a go on that one.
I think so too. I think she'd snap Jeremy Hunt like a crispy evil twig.
So just take it.
That's what I found.
Is that a
Chris
gay
Bailey
joke?
Versus Larry the
Are they
Dog
doing the
Cat.
fucking Putin's gay thing? Idiots.
Cat would
They
definitely.
had a
What's
bit, but
with the...
all of them in together.
it's just...
I think I'd give it to Nicola.
Motion capture, isn't it?
Yeah, there's someone, but the actual animation of him in the post rendering, whatever.
Yeah, what's
It
Alistair?
looks awful.
Is Alistair Campbell just looking at a guy gesticulating like he's Putin?
He's basically looking at a guy in a green suit, probably. I reckon.
I do ad breaks. I have bear hunting all day and don't
With motion capture outfit on him. And then they're just animated like this weird, jittery looking, odd.
They just did another bear joke, and they've got a lot of bear jokes in this. I mean, that's almost as hacky a kind of ethnic joke as, like, say, doing your album that sounds a little bit like Canadian artist Neil Young under the name Crazy Moose.
Here is a woman.
Here is a woman. Wow. The jokes in this were just like, oh, Russians are so sexist.
Oh, you're too kind, you're too
Oh, she's
Megan.
animated as well. I think Tom was asking earlier if like Alistair Campbell and people would be animated too. I told him was the good. Is this supposed to be Meghan Markle?
Yep.
What kind of people are in the audience of this thing? They look old, man.
I want it to be an opportunity for me to
sounds really awkwardly done. The one sounds like they're really laughing.
The joke's just like it's just a like laughable American bin. Like she's just a stupid woman, doesn't know what she's talking about.
Everyone's just like, in the audience just like...
It's really sexist. It's just like she's a fucking bimbo. There's so much you could do about the royal family, but they're just like, Meghan Markle, she's a fucking stupid bitch, isn't she? It's like, fuck you.
What's it like being married to Harry?
Boo! Bring back Putin!
What's that about?
Boo!
I mean, Harry? Are you trying to lay claim to my
Because a second ago they were just like, Russians are sexist.
Because we can go, bitch! We can go right now!
Oh, now they're being racist.
Yeah, literally, that's,
Right, next question.
Because she's black.
Yeah,
Her voice has just become Ebonics, sort of.
Thank you, everybody! Join me next time when I reveal
It's
more
like the
secret
angry
secrets
black
about
woman
me, Period
trope.
Princess.
Yeah, what the fuck? Oh
Basically,
shit, they
that's
were
what they
kind
were
of
just
doing
doing
that
that.
with like how Diane could smash the shit out of Jeremy Hunt as well, I guess, although I do think she probably could.
God, this is really bad.
It's atrocious.
Now, my next guest.
You can see why they
is a
needed two.
presenter, a writer, an activist, and an MBE, which I assume stands for Massively Brilliant Entertainer. Please welcome June Sarpong.
So, I was saying earlier to Tom, June Sarpong and Alistair Campbell both worked on the 2016 Remain campaign, so I don't know, is this like some fucking People's Vote front?
Yes, everyone says, I wish when I grow up I could be like June Sarpong.
There was that tweet that was like, from some up-and-coming production company on, I don't know, whatever street MI5 are on, basically. Give me a break.
All of the greats you've interviewed,
Al Gore,
Tony
he lives on
Blair,
my street.
Matthew Kelly.
You see the comic juxtaposition of serious political figures with a less serious pop culture figure.
For me, your finest piece of journalism was in 2009, when you travelled the country with Derek Acora trying to raise the spirits of Michael Jackson. In retrospect, are you glad that Derek Acora doesn't have magic powers?
We don't really have anything to say about this. That's just a standard kind of celebrity talk show question. Yeah, again, like, it's all just like Britain hectoring Russia. Like, you're Russia. You've got a bit of a racism problem. Of course, we wouldn't know anything about that.
We find that we have in common.
People say political correctness this, political correctness that, but at what point did political correctness go mad, June Sarpong?
How long of this is left?
It's like 12 minutes, isn't it? 13.
Oh, it's 2 minutes of this episode left, and we got
One more to
another
go
one.
after.
Jesus.
Allow people to actually express how they feel.
You can't say anything nowadays. I have a handicapped son, but nowadays you can't say handicapped son. You have to say, I have a daughter.
This is probably just like one of the writer of the show's stand-up routine that he does down at fucking Andrew Doyle's Comedy Unleashed nights. He's just recycled it. He's like, oh, Putin would do this probably.
Who are the exact producers behind this show?
We will get to that. The creators are an interesting bunch. The reason I'm recording this as a kind of commentary is because when I saw the length of the show, I was like, okay, we're going to need to pad this out a bit. Because out of two 13-minute episodes, we might not like get an episode's worth of chat.
Who was in the first
Yeah.
darling.
Okay. That was a question challenge. Bing bong, bing bong.
Diversity challenge. This is such like hacky fucking Oxbridge humour. Right, cheers, June Sarpong. You can go off and chat with Alistair Campbell in the green room. Lucky you. For the rest of us, we're done. That was the first episode, okay? Okay, so it's created by Jasper Gibson, Joel Veitch, and Simon Whalley. Let's pause and look at these three people's resumes. Jasper Gibson is an alumni of The Poke, which is like one of those lame satire sites or something, isn't it? It's like the Daily Mash or some shit.
Something along those lines, I'd say, probably.
One of the like handful of really fucking third-rate British attempts at doing something a bit like The Onion.
Yeah.
And Joel Veitch, he's the guy who did rathergood.com. We started talking about rathergood.com, and it turns out that most of the stuff that I associated with rathergood.com was not actually made by rathergood.com, but possibly linked on their site back in like 2005 or something. I remember in year 7. 2005 or something. I remember watching all these videos. There was one which was Bomb Saddam, which is like bomb, 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 Saddam, bomb, 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 bomb. Yeah, it was basically like that, and it had all these like lines like Saddam is a pimple on the butt of his people, and a reference to the French, obviously, the United Nations voting against the Iraq War. You may wonder why we don't give the French votes. Saddam drinks French wine and he barbecues goats.
We wonder why we didn't get the French votes. Saddam sips French wine and he barbecues goats.
And then there's a very like mid-2000s bit of humour of the cut to like a crudely animated Saddam, which is just like an animated person with like a photo of the person's head superimposed on top of them, and he's like in a basically like a sexy French maiden's costume. There's stuff like that. Bomb Saddam, not to be confused of course with John McCain's infamous bomb, 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 Iran on stage moment. And then there was another one called DC Land. And in retrospect, these were probably not anything to do with Joel Veitch. They were probably made by some American person. And yeah, indeed, the bits that I remembered were all exactly as I remembered them. Like, there was a bit of like John Kerry, like, I'm sensitive, I cannot lie, I love to hug and kiss this guy, and then like Dick Cheney or someone comes up and sings with George Bush, like, are they gay? We can't say. On our way, Dixieland. So there's all this just like gay scare kind of humour, which actually seems to be carried over in this kind of piece of shit, lame-ass liberal satire, even if that had nothing to do with Joel Veitch.
I'm sensitive, I cannot lie.
I love to hug and kiss this guy.
Are they gay?
We won't say.
On our way,
DC Land. It's good to be in DC.
Hooray! Hooray!
With oil funds, ketchup,
cute buns.
That's how we got to DC.
Okay, so it turns out that DC Land and Bomb Saddam are by an American site called JibJab.com. And I think JibJab is still making shit. They seem to do one on John McCain as recently as 2014. The top comment on the DC Land video from 1 year ago is, I like how it equally makes fun of both sides. In terms of stuff that was actually on rathergood.com, the video for Gay Bar by the Electric Six, which I don't know if that's a gay scare thing, it's got the word gay in the name, but I can't comment any further than that other than to say that my band used to play it as part of a medley with Neil Young's Down by the River. When we were at school, he collaborated with some guy, this is like mid-2000s, with some animator called Weeble, who did a thing like badger, mushroom, something like that. As a video of all these badgers dancing. And yeah, I don't know if there was a satirical element to all this stuff back then. As you can see, I've still not actually been able to really name any of the stuff that's... yes, sorry, the Weeble and Joel Veitch, rathergood.com collaboration. Weeble, not Weevil, not to be confused with Weave, that Nazi guy. It was this thing called like Mr. Stabby or something, and it was just, I just remember it being like Mr. Stabby. I didn't rewatch that one. Okay, so yeah, Joel Veitch of rathergood.com pedigree is one of the creators of this enterprise. Yeah, I don't really know if he has much like satirical pedigree, but the other person is Simon Wally of Framestore, and it says in this BBC press release that Framestore are a creative studio who have developed performance capture technology that is groundbreaking live VFX.
I wouldn't call it groundbreaking.
It looks awful. It's like remember the original Walking with Dinosaurs, like good at the time. I'm sure like the 90s you'd been like, wow, this is far out now. it's like
but now it's
some minor. Oh wow, it's a sort of computer animated version of fucking Yeltsin's deputy prime minister.
There's an online game where people use the engine to do, like, you know, those Shrek videos, the incredibly... Laura would know the name of them. I don't know the... Like, but yeah, like, it's like this software, and it looks like it's literally just come straight out of that. But it doesn't sound like it's award-winning or anything like that. I just assumed it was done on the cheap, but no, this is...
Yeah, it's
they put stuff into this.
It's cutting edge. Believe me. Trust me. Right, so on to episode 2.
Yeah, it's got to the point where I've got old speckled hen.
Yeah,
Try and get
drink down your old speckled hen. It's a shame we didn't have some good old Russian vodka for you.
Oh god.
Or some crocodile.
Oh man.
That's, you know that Russian drug?
Oh, the one that makes you zombie.
Hard drug, yeah, but yeah. It sounds pretty hardcore, man. We should have got some of that in.
Of course.
M. Norton first called me and begged me to come here and do my own chat show and be better than him. Much, much better and funnier and more clever than him.
I'm gonna say it, Putin's nothing like this. Putin is a much more understated, thoughtful man than this portrayal of him. I'm not saying I agree with his politics, just this is not the man's personality. Of course, I know him personally.
Yeah.
And of course, you don't have to agree with someone's politics to work for them.
Direct funding, of course, comes from his administration.
Yeah. The thing about Putin's foreign policy interests is it's a broad church. Wait, who's this?
This is a guy who was on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
Joe Swash is his name.
He was in...
That's not a real
I
name.
think he was in EastEnders.
Alright.
So let's ask the question everyone wants to know the answer to. Let's get straight to it. Who is Joe Swash?
I mean, I'm just sort of a dude that sort of fell into EastEnders and then ended up sort of making a living, really.
He's gonna sound like Mike Gates in a few years' time.
Who's Putin?
It's a difficult one. Like, who's Vladimir Putin?
Oh, he's a dictator who wants to kill a lot of people.
You answered that.
What?
That is definitely not how Putin sees himself. He's won a lot of elections by considerable margins, fair or unfairly. I do not think the man views himself as a dictator. It's unfairly, by the way. I'm eating Mentos. It's my birthday, by the way, listeners. Me and Tom were watching the Putin show on my birthday.
What a better way to spend, come up here to see you.
25, never felt so alive.
And we're here watching the Putin show. Cheers. First brewed in 1979. The year the vile Thatcher came to be.
Indeed. I'm making jokes here, just like, it's so much like gay scare jokes. Just Putin, like, not understanding what homosexuality is. Gonna be long swaves of silence to cut from this recording, but that's absolutely fine.
I'm just shocked, but it's just like it shocks you into silence because it's that bad.
The lowest common denominator humour.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck about fucking EastEnders, man? I mean, like, fine if you want to watch EastEnders, but who gives a fuck about, like, satirising that some guy was once on EastEnders and no longer is?
We have a better system than yours when we were in Russia. In Russia, the famous system is if I like you, you become famous. If I don't like you, you become dead.
Yeah, and they're just doing really, like, tasteless, over-the-top kind of comic. Like, I like murdering people. I mean, this is on the level of my Macron impression. Which, I should say, this show is apparently semi-scripted. Which, I presume means the Putin bits are scripted. My Macron bits were never scripted. So it's actually good that they were bad. Alright.
I was hearing you just contorting and you're working your way out of a point. You're like, actually, fuck it. And there is no point to make.
There is none whatsoever.
Your brain's just being turned to fucking mush because this absolute bollocks that are being mentioned.
Yeah,
right
I think
now.
that's that and a few other puffy things.
Yeah.
All this stuff about like him being all insecure and come on, blood, you can do this.
Careful.
Everything's got to have that like meta behind the scenes element. I mean, I love the Larry Sanders Show, but fucking hell, like this, Jonathan Pye in America, all that crap, Ed Balls and Trumpland, etc.
Oh no.
Oh, really? They brought back Meghan Markle?
Welcome everyone. It's your favorite fairy princess.
This is an atrocity. They should take this off fucking iPlayer right now. Why the
It's
fuck are we
embarrassing, isn't
able to watch this? There are classic shows that the BBC fucking wiped forever. And this is readily available at the fucking click of a button for anyone who wants to watch it.
No subject is next.
Why are they bringing up Meghan Markle? Meghan Markle's dad is a cunt. Like, he's just like, he just tries to make things about him. Like, see, I don't even follow this crap, and have I followed more stuff about royal family than I see myself as doing. But yeah,
I
but
think that's what
anyway,
you're admitting to, mate,
I
yeah.
got the sense that her dad is just a bit of a prick, and he's always trying to like embarrass her publicly. This is just I hate a Meghan Markle stuff in this. They're really scraping the bottom of the barrel.
I was wondering what makes you angry.
You know,
Good.
racist.
Oh, they're gonna do the racist bit again.
Yeah, well, you know.
I mean,
They're
it's
gonna
like
do
when
the
someone
racist
comes
bit.
into
Of
my
course.
room asking to borrow my hairbrush and I say no because that's gross. And then I leave my room and come back and like I can tell she's using my hairbrush anyway because it's covered in skanky hair that's going grey. And I'm like, stay the fuck out of my trailer.
Yeah, okay, they've done again. This is
Thanks for that
this
woman
is
throat
straight
out
up
again. There
racist.
you go.
This is racist. Like, she doesn't speak like that. That's not her voice. The only reason that you would have a character based on her speaking like that is because her and people who speak sort of like that are black. That's the commonality. This is racist. What is this? Why are we watching this? Also, why is the London Eye pink in the background? Is that another, like, gay thing?
Don't know. I don't know.
Now, my next guest is a comedian, author, and now extremely successful podcaster, whatever that means.
Hey, high five, High five.
Not one, but two lady names. Put your hands together for Deborah Francis Watt!
I don't know her. What podcast does she do?
I don't know.
She's Trash Future.
I don't listen. I don't know. I've got to say this, folks. I don't actually listen to many podcasts.
Well, I do, but they're mostly about rock. I like rock. Rock as hard as possible. Well, sometimes soft. I like soft rock. I like learning about soft rock bands like the Eagles without actually listening to them. Anyway, beside the point. What podcast does she do?
I don't know.
What's her name again? I guess she's a comedian.
Someone will come over to you at the bar
This
every single
is a
time
bollocks line of
saying,
questioning, man. Comedy Unleashed is a great place for women. I'm just like, my jokes about how I identify is like a plane.
No, that's not what's happened.
They go down so well with all the chicks at the club, you know, the comedy club. It's a really vibrant scene. Comedy Unleashed. I once walked past Andrew Doyle there.
Yeah.
He just kind of shot me a look like, don't come near me, I'm the boss. I'm the man. He's in a leather jacket.
Andrew Doyle.
Yeah, Andrew Doyle.
As in...
At Comedy Unleashed.
Oh, right, okay.
When I was there doing my politically incorrect comedy routine. I don't think you followed me on this. Let's drop it. Let's see what they're saying on Putin's show. Weak material.
Look at these muscles.
Lowest common denominator. Bottom of the barrel.
How long has this been out for?
Scraping.
Because
Crap.
if it is into its run, is there going to be another episode next
I
week?
don't know, I swear we mentioned doing an episode on it ages ago. Maybe that was just when they announced it.
And we don't either.
I mean, this is a crushing disappointment from the man behind Badger, Mushroom.
We'll thank you for keeping us busy.
Anything for amnesty.
And whatever the fuck the poke is.
Deborah Francis White.
The poke like the spoon. Getting poked with the spoon, they should merge.
God, what a fucking load of bollocks that is.
Thanks to my guests, what's her name and thingy. Thanks to the American woman. But most of all, thanks to
Is that my dog
Vladimir
barking?
Putin, watching me, surveilling you. See you all next time. Goodbye.
What a load of garbage.
Pause the show, actually. I'm going to see if Ramus has escaped. Oh, that was it. Oh.
Yeah, nothing much to miss.
Hang on.
My gapes.
Mr. Speaker, the St. Petersburg troll factories and the RP propaganda channel are already gearing up to spread misinformation. Couldn't we at least do a little bit more to expose this, and particularly
Both episodes came out 4 weeks ago. There have been no further episodes.
Well,
did the BBC quietly pull the plug? What happened? Was it only supposed to be 2 episodes at one time? They're very short episodes. Why create it in the first place? It's such a flimsy concept.
Maybe it was just like, see how it, like, do 2 episodes, see how it goes, then aim to make more if it went down well, which obviously it hasn't, thankfully.
Fucking hell, it actually did air on TV. I thought this was going to be one of their online things, but nope, BBC 2 on the 23rd of June 2019.
What time do they think was it on?
It was only in Northern Ireland. Why do I think the Northern Irish would particularly enjoy it? Maybe it aired in the rest of the UK before that. Northern Ireland, they hate Russia out there. You know, Russia, their imperialist power. Yeah, they seem to drop the first 2 episodes simultaneously. Oh, hi, doggy. Hello, little man. Oh, you're excited, aren't you? Oh.
Stuck behind a rake in the shed. Get over the rake.
Alright, my dog has just got out from behind a rake in the shed, so he's in a great mood.
Hey, mate,
charging about.
That's the liveliest I've ever seen.
He's running incredibly fast. So yeah, we watched these 26 minutes of material altogether. In fact, not that, because some of it is credits. And
it's the worst piece of shit I've ever seen.
It's terrible.
Let's come out of like BBC comedy.
It's just when they briefly turn in.
Putin looks awful.
In the second episode, first one, it's mostly just like, I am insecure and I am also secretly gay and I don't know what homosexuality is also. And then in the second one, it turns tack and he just kind of turns to camera and is like, ha 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 ha. And by the way, I am a murderous dictator and I will kill you.
And then they also decided to do a segment featuring Meghan Markle where they're both racist and just generally portrayed to be a ditzy American woman. It's incredibly offensive.
It's so racist and sexist, because at first I was watching it and I was like, this is sexist, and then I was like, this is also racist.
And they pull out the angry black woman trope as well. That's the stick with her character.
Yeah, well, just the way that she just like because starts speaking like a.
It's right when Serena Williams competes in tennis, and whenever she calls out how she's treated in the sport, it's typical angry black woman, unnecessarily causing the scene, all the standard racist tropes you'd expect, and it's in this as well. And they've applied it to Meghan Markle, who I'm not a fan of the royal family by any means, but
no, absolutely
that's
not.
Fucking low.
Fuck the royal family, but why make this? There's nothing there.
I don't know.
Did they literally just get a call from like the British foreign policy establishment, from a fucking foreign office, or from MI5, just kind of saying, well, we kind of want more like anti-Putin stuff. Can you do more just general stuff, just like about how the major threat to national security is Russia?
That's probably one of the only ways of seeing it, really.
So, Mr. Akehurst, what would you suggest? They're just conducting a bit of kind of like man on the street spot polling, and they go to this one guy who they know has been a critic of the BBC in the past for not showing enough Morrissey sets at Glastonbury, and they say, so Mr. Akehurst, what would you say the pressing issues of the day are that we need to address in our programming? And he would have said, Russia.
They're just basically giving a bit of time to these kind of guys who had a bit of success with like flash animations that were viral back in the day on the internet. And then for some reason the BBC have said, we should give these guys a chance. Because I like Bomb Saddam.
But he didn't even do Bomb Saddam, I don't think.
Oh, did he? Which ones did he do?
Badger, mushroom, Mr. Stabby, and the gay bar video.
It's that kind of early like viral salad fingers kind of like shit. Really?
Badger was. I think Badger might have been Weeble, a collaborator of Joel Veitch. And he Did Weeble do salad fingers?
God knows. I didn't
like it.
Salad fingers. I just thought it was fucking weird as hell.
It was too weird. It wasn't funny. It was just I didn't get it.
But yeah, why does this show exist?
Why does this exist? I genuinely think like it's a conspiracy. This is some security services shit. It's just deep state, man.
It's these
deep
two guys who, as I said, did Flash
Andrew
animation.
Murray was right.
Back in the day, Flash animation on the internet, and they've just blacked their way into BBC offices and just gone, yeah, we want to do a show, chat show, hosted by Putin.
Yeah,
That's
who we
brilliant.
get on? Alistair Campbell, some guy off EastEnders.
BBC reporter.
To be fair, one of them wasn't a Flash animation guy. He was a guy off the Poke. What the fuck's the Poke?
And there's a segment where Meghan Markle comes out, and it's funny because she gets angry. She's angry and it's funny because she's a raw now and she can't do that.
Wait, what?
She goes, mm-hmm.
I'm just looking at
really, just awful.
I'm just looking at the Poke, and the Poke seems just like really like inane clickbait stuff. Like Roald Dahl's shutdown of anti-vaxxers is even more relevant today than it was 30 years ago. Wait till you hear what he had to say about the Jews. In this one, this 3-part exchange in the Oval Office confirms everything you thought about Donald Trump. Well, that's great, just saying to people, watch this, and you know what you already think. Well, you'll still think it. The 9 stages of fixing a TV remote control. This poor guy's review of Veet hair removal cream is epic, brilliantly written, and very funny. So it just seems like a kind of content mining website. It's like the Onion people parodied with Clickhole, where you just kind of go down a bottomless hole of like inane clickbait. Trump said he tried to stop the send her back chants, and this forensic takedown says it all. So it's probably it just seems to be like, oh, here we go. This Twitter account photoshops people's chests onto their faces, and it's terrifyingly funny. So it's just taking the shit that people do online and just being like, hey, look at this. Like, do they have a satire bit that maybe the guy who did the Putin show went on to do or something?
But then how, like, it's such a random selection of guests. Like, when you see the first guest is Alistair Campbell, you assume that, oh, okay, this is going to be like
deep state, man.
Yeah, this is
deep state.
This is going to be like politicians and stuff like that. It's good. But then they bring out fucking
Matt Ford,
Joe Swash,
Joe Swish, Joe Walsh from the Eagles. That would be good if it was Joe Walsh. I dig that.
Yeah.
I love
the guy from EastEnders. They bring him in.
Joe Walsh.
Joe Pasquale. No.
Smashed up a hotel room in 75.
Cheers. I'll cheers my old speckled hen to your Rubicon.
Dude, there was one night in 77 where I got more brain damage than I did from all the coke and booze in the other 10 years combined. Sorry, Joe Walsh is probably one of the more personable human beings in the Eagles. Anyway, let's continue talking about what Joe Swash. Inappropriate guest, you thought?
It's such random to go from Alistair Campbell to him.
And Deborah Francis White, who I guess does she's a comedian and she does like a feminist podcast.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I don't know which one it is. I don't listen to podcasts really.
London-based comedian, feminist writer, host of the Guilty Feminist podcast. Can't really see what her politics are beyond some like anti-Trump stuff that she's retweeted. Yeah, probably just a bit middle of the road. But, I mean, yeah, there's not really any politically radical guests on here, are there? Like, Campbell and June Sarpong, both arch-centrists.
Yeah.
But yeah, wow. I'm surprised that Jolyon Rubinstein wasn't involved in this one, because he did that, like, Real Housewives of ISIS show or whatever that caused loads of controversy and got cancelled by the BBC.
Real Housewives of ISIS.
Something like that, yeah. I'll look it up. I should say, by the way, when I checked BBC, it said that this show is only on iPlayer for 3 more days, so I think the BBC are going to be like, let's just...
let's pretend this never happened.
Put this in the past, yeah. Put this all behind us.
That's it, Joe Swash.
Joe Swash, yeah. What am I looking at again? Short-term memory.
We were looking at... I don't remember what we were looking at.
Let's pause the recording and go back and hear what we will.
That's it.
Okay, so right, we paused the show and listened back to the recording, and we remembered that I was about to look up.
Got me from the minute of first mentioning it.
Real Housewives of ISIS.